Hello again, it's April here and welcome back to another video. This week I've got the last exercise I did in August, which is to make an entire accordion book based on a walk, which I thought was a pretty cool idea at a time. It did take a while, but I do like the finished and I hope that you'll like it too. So the video format is going to be a little walk until I get to the first spread, and then I'm going to draw, and then we're going to have another little walk and then draw again. Hopefully it's okay and doesn't give anyone a headache. So I'm now on the shores of Brothers Water where we begin the walk. It was an absolutely beautiful morning and I decided to draw this view as the first page. So the sketchbook that I'm using is a Etcher Accordion sketchbook. It's A6 and I actually did the entire first layer, which is all the paint. I did that on a live stream, so that's why it's already began. I actually forgot I was filming this video when I did that live stream, but I think it's fine because basically all it was is just me painting with the Himi jelly gouache, and as you can see, a lot of it is just very messy. It was basically just to get some paint and some color on the page and not to be too perfect. And then I go ahead and use the Caran d'Ache luminance pencils, which are my favorite. I think I chose about 7 or 8 different colors. One of them was a very dark green, and then I went in and chose a few more greens, a couple of grays and a couple of yellow pinks, and they're all quite neutral, which I think definitely works because the undercoat of the Himi jelly gouache is extremely bright and vibrant, and I find that when I put these kind of more neutral tones on, it really tones it down, and then you also get little hints of the color coming through the background, and I think it works really nicely together. If I had chosen a lot of bright colored pencils, I think it just would have clashed and been a little bit garish. Garish or garish? How do you say that? So just in case you've just popped onto this video and you haven't seen one of my videos before, we recently moved to the Lake District. We actually moved in November, so not quite so recent. It does feel like we just moved here yesterday. But we have been trying to do a lot of the Wainwright Fells, which is from Alfred Wainwright, when he mapped out all of the fells in the Lake District and he walked them all, and there's a whole set of books where basically it shows all the routes and everything, and you can do like the Wainwright Challenge, which is 214 fells. So we've been trying to do that, and I think that we've done 14 so far. We did 4 on this walk, which was our longest walk to date. It was about 9.5 miles and 4 fells, which was pretty cool. So from the shore of Brothers Water, we walked along this path. I've been here once before. We actually brought my mum and her partner here for a walk, which was nice. This second picture comes up really quickly. It's of this gate and all these horrible stinging nettles that I had to navigate through. But I ended up kind of drawing the gate with this view in the background. I thought that was a nice little picture. And what I tried to do with the accordion book is each image is its own image. Like if you were to turn the page and just look at that spread, it would be its own image. But then also when you look at the larger image, they do kind of smush into each other. So even though they're not connected, so like this rock wall is only in this image, but I do take some of the rocks over, kind of trail it off, and then also the mountains connect, even though they aren't the same mountain, if that makes sense. So I kind of wanted them to look like they connected, but also that they were their own individual images, and it just really shows the journey of our walk that we did, and all the different places that we saw, and fences that we went through. The last layer that I do on all the pages is the neocolors, and I used it a lot for the sky, which I always find difficult doing in coloured pencil, and also to tone down some of the background colours. A lot of the neocolors that I chose are the same colours as the pencils, so it was like they weren't new colours, but they were a little bit more vibrant than the pencil colours, so I think it all worked together really nicely. So we went through the gate, through a field, up to our first fell, which is on the right there. It's the pointy one on the right. It's called High Hartsop. and it was quite a mission to go up this fell. It got super steep halfway up, and it was a tough one. Saw some lovely sheep along the way though. Always love seeing those out in nature. So you can see how steep it is here. I look happy, but I'm struggling. We actually stopped halfway up and I didn't take a photo, which I'm a bit annoyed about. I didn't take any video of it to show you, but you kind of saw the view when I was walking up when behind me. It's this one here where you can see the farm below that we passed on the way up through the fields. And then in the background is Brothers Water that we walked along. And then to the right are some mountains that were always behind us. I'm not actually sure what these ones are. I don't think I got the names of those. But it was just a nice little look back to where we had come from. And this is the three, kind of, I just filmed this a little bit here to show you how they all smushed along, like that. So I think I'm still going up High Hartsop Dod here. The path was very windy. We were using our walking sticks, but half the time I had to kind of put them away because it was so steep. Little sheep there. And moving back to the sketchbook, I decided it was such a nice day, it was at the weekend, to draw outside. So I actually picked the sketchbook up and I took it out to our little table that we have here. And it was really hot. I didn't stay out here for long. So I ended up trying to make like this mobile studio thing, and I have the arm clamped to the umbrella and then the camera onto the umbrella. And I was actually using my phone there in front of me as the image because I couldn't remember the image from my head and I didn't have my computer with me. And this is halfway up High Hartsop Dod, which is in the background there, kind of like the mountainy bit. And this is a stile that we had to walk over. And at this point, we had just climbed up that super steep hill and I was so tired. I literally looked at the stile and I was like, no. So we had to stop. Also, in the actual filming of this, I don't know if you noticed, but the umbrella arm was moving with the wind, with like the breeze, and the camera just went to the right, until eventually the sketchbook wasn't even in the view anymore, so I had to cut it off. Making our way up. So on this one we did 4, this is the first one. Little pile of stones there to say that we got to the top, and at the top I decided to have a little game of pick up walking sticks. So enjoy that, I guess. Look how windy it is up here. Okay, wait, that was take. One more. I did it. So when I was drawing this sketchbook, I actually did all of the layers all at once instead of doing like one sketch and then moving on to the next one, which is why they're all painted, and then I did them all with pencil, and then at the end I do them all with neocolor. So when I come on to do the neocolor on some of these, you might see like the next one's already been finished, but I had to cut it all up and edit it like this. I was going to do the entire walk and then the entire drawing, but I thought it was a little bit more interesting to break it up like this so you can kind of follow the journey as you go, and it's almost like following along on the walk and then I'm drawing parts of it. So I hope that you like this format. Let me know if you do. I have done one like this in the past and people seem to like it. So yeah, hopefully it's not too confusing to follow along. Another thing I wanted to mention was over the course of doing the sketchbook, which I think was about 3 days in total, I really I don't want to say I shook it up because I didn't really shake it up that much. But I tried a few different things on the different spreads, and I think it was because I was getting I wasn't getting bored, but everything was looking a little bit samey. It was kind of, oh, here's a hill, here's another hill. And I was worried a little bit about this when I started the sketchbook, because while this is a really long walk, like it took us like 8 hours, I think, or yeah, about 8 hours to do. The scenery is not that different. Like it's all the same mountains that you're looking at and the same grass and the same rocks. So I did try and change it up a little bit on some of them. So on this one here, I started to do the rocks like this, like with this weird kind of pattern on them. And I don't really like this very much. I didn't mind it for this little sketchbook because it's just, you know, it's just like a fun little project to do. But I don't think I'm going to take this forward in the future. I don't really think I'm like a pattern-y person. Some people do it really well. They put patterns and stuff into their work, but I don't really think I'm a pattern person. I think I'm more like a chaos everywhere kind of person. And pattern is just a little bit too organized for me. But it was fun to try different stuff on each page. So it was super windy after we left Hartsop Dodd. We walked all the way up the hill and we got a little bit of shelter in some rocks to have a bite to eat. And then we continued on. The next fell that we were trying to get to was called Little Hart Crag. And over there, I'm just showing you that's where we're going. So it's kind of like a horseshoe shape. You'll see it at the end as well. Basically, we went up one hill. We walked up to the top, walked around in like a horseshoe shape, and then came back down the other side. This is just before we reached Little Hart Crag. We found this little pond and Martin really wanted to take a photo of it. I think it's called a tarn. I think when there's like a little lake or a pond at the top of a fell is called a tarn. So Martin wanted to stop and take a picture, and I took a picture of him taking a picture. This is just before we leave, so I had to draw him in here. Tiny little Martin, and it's so small. It's probably about 2.5 centimeters tall. I couldn't really get much detail in, which is fine because I'm not really like a people drawer person. I have been kind of getting into drawing characters a little bit more recently with Sarah Dyer's Patreon that I took part in, and also in September. In September, I want to do a whole bunch of challenges, and all of those challenges are going to involve characters, animal characters or humans. I'm not sure yet. So I can't remember what I was saying, but basically I have started to want to draw characters again. I'm not sure if it's going to be people, but yeah, keep an eye out, because if you like characters and you're interested to see how I draw them, I'm interested as well, because I haven't drawn them for ages. So I'm interested to see how I would do it. But yeah, that should be next month. I really had a lot of fun just kind of scraping my neocolors along the paper for the sky and the grass. There's this one really dark green neocolor that I really enjoy kind of scraping over everything, and it really tones everything down. Anyway, this is at the top of High Hartsop Dodd, and we have to basically walk down and then walk up again. So first we're walking down and making good use of the poles. We've only used these 3 times. We got them a while ago. They're really good for going downhill. For going uphill, they're okay. Like if they take a little bit of getting used to, but they definitely help going downhill, especially if you are a little bit unconfident with your step, or there's some rocky bits or loose stone. I find them really helpful for confidence level. So we're now walking up the side of Red Screes, and the fog is coming in. But basically we walk up, the fog comes in, and then by the time we get to the top of Red Screes, the fog has completely enveloped the entire top of the hill. And the thing about this walk is that we were really excited to do is we really wanted to walk up Red Screes, because we see Red Screes, that's the name of it, the hill. We see Red Screes everywhere we go, because all the walks where we are, we can see it, and it's a very distinct shape. So we've always wanted to walk up it, and it was just completely covered in fog, which I thought was pretty funny. But we definitely want to walk up it again. There's actually a shorter walk that we can do. So on a nice day, we can park kind of at the bottom and we can just walk up the side, which is not a very long walk at all. And then we'll actually be able to see the view from the top, which will be nice. So this next view is kind of that hill that went into the mist. And this is when we are walking down. So we're walking down just below the tip of that hill is our last fell called Middle Dodd. And it was really cool to see it kind of all disappear into the fog. I think the sunny weather obviously is best for looking at views and things, but we've walked up a few fells now in the fog, and I think it's so atmospheric. Like as long as you can see where you're going, and you can read like landmarks, or if you have a map on you, or if you can follow a fence, which we have done in the past when it was really foggy, it's actually super fun. And I would definitely recommend it if you ever do go to the Lake District or the Peak District or where else, Scotland or Wales, you know, and you climb the mountains. Give it a go, even if it's like a not a very nice day, if you feel comfortable doing that, because it's super atmospheric, and yeah, I really enjoy it. And then this is the final cairn, which is Middle Dodd. So this is our entire walk. We went from that point all the way around up into the fog, and then we came back down. We're basically coming almost to the end now. I've only got a few more spreads left, and I'm not quite sure. I don't think I'll ever do this again, because although it was quite fun to do, to show a journey or to show a walk, or even if maybe there's like a city scene or something that you'd want to do, I think these books would be really fun for it. But I also think that they're kind of just like project based, you know, like if you feel like you want to do it that week or that month, you can do it. I don't think it's something I would ever be interested in, like, oh, I have an accordion sketchbook, I'll just draw in this today, you know. So I'm not sure if I will ever do an accordion sketchbook like this again, unless it's for something special. But it was a fun challenge. It was something very different, and there were some things to overcome, like the sketchbook going off the edge of the paper, and also there's so many folds in the page that was quite annoying sometimes, especially when using the neocolors. But it was quite cool to draw all these different mountains and try to come up with different ways of colouring them to show the form. I think on a couple of them I was successful, especially when there were lots of trees. On some of them it was just a bit of a mess of like colours and stuff. But yeah, I think overall when you look at the sketchbook at the end, it does look pretty cool. So I didn't actually film anything after this until we got right to the bottom, because it was a horrific walk down. It was so steep, and I literally felt like it was going to go on forever. We got to the bottom, and this was the view looking back to where was it? Is it the first one or the last one? I'm not sure. It was a mountain, one of the ones that we walked down, and I thought it was a nice little view to finish off. Kind of very similar to the first page, where there was lots of trees and a few little mountains and some fences and stuff, so it kind of ties it all in. The first few spreads and the last few spreads are a lot more structured, and then as we are walking, and it's mainly just you know, hills and grass and rocks, it's kind of a little bit more abstract. So that was the entire accordion sketchbook. Let me know if you've ever done one, or has seeing me do this maybe made you want to try it yourself. And what would you draw in it? Would you draw a walk? Would you do a city scene? Would you do a story? I'd be really interested to know what you'll do with your accordion sketchbook. But that is mine. It's all finished. I'm not sure if what I'll do with it. I'll probably just pop it back on the shelf and not do much else with that. I don't really think you can with these things. I mean, it's so long, you know, but it's finished. And these are all of the sketches a little bit up close. I did try and do this smoothly along the table, and it was very difficult because it's so long. I kept making it go a bit skeweth, but you can kind of see the journey. There's a little mountain there, and all the rocks, and the foggy red screes at the top there, coming back down, and finally we made it. Time to go home and grab a cup of tea and a biscuit. So that was the last video for August. I did a challenge every week. I will leave a link to all the videos in the description in case you want to check them out if you haven't. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I will be back next week with a vlog. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.